Have you heard the phrase, the whole is greater than the sum of the parts? In other words, if you take a few bits of something and you put them together, then the thing that you end up creating is far more effective, efficient, valuable, however you want to phrase it, than you might get if you have all the bits separated but together. Uh, that happens a lot in the creation of games. I think when you have something like this, which with some very simple mechanics, but there's a certain, possibly even unintended beauty behind it, where the game seems to promise things without promising them. And that's what this game is like. It's called Interdimensional Vending Machine. It is an SCP game by a developer that we've already looked at before, who did another SCP game, and one I'm very excited about, and I'm honestly a little sad that this game exists, because it possibly means that they're not working on their other game, which they need to. The other game was the one with the device that sort of improves or disassembles items, the refining machine. This SCP is the vending machine that just vends things that don't exist or possibly aren't from this reality. That's why it's interdimensional. I'm not going to try and explain what SCP is. If you don't know, there will be links in the description. Go and have a look. It's an amazing sort of collaborative writing spot that set in a sort of supernatural alternative reality. It's very, very cool and very, very old. Um, Leaning towards trying to explain it, but instead we're going to have a look specifically at this game. And the idea of this game is that you are this girl living on the street, no parents or anything like that, and you have discovered this machine, which is a supernatural entity. Presumably the SCP Institute have not yet found it, but you have found it, and you are trying to make use of it. Let's watch the intro with the new game, and hopefully it'll explain things. Yes, I want to start a new game. Right, so we are this girl living on the street, looking through restaurant windows at people who are eating, and we are hungry. This captures it well. I'm not sure why we're as pink as we are, but that is the nature of the art. And we're looking in and we're mad because we want food. And we're walking the streets late at night where nobody should be. We appear to be in Japan, which is why we deal with yen. We have found down this dark alley a vending machine, and in Japan that is not unexpected. There are some amazing vending machine locations. I watched a video in which the videographer was in this mostly abandoned village in the middle of the woods, and he walked through a tunnel from an abandoned school and found this village, and found that there were a couple of fully functioning, running vending machines, I assume serving people who were driving past on the road. I don't know how they would be profitable, but they were. So what we do is we approach this vending machine, and we find that it has no information or anything on it, which is a rarity. Normally there's a big glass panel on the front, or at least signage saying what you're going to get from the machine, but this one is just mysterious and black, with a coin slot and a keypad. And we find on the ground, to our horror tempered by living on the street, bits of a body that we are terrified by, but we do find coins everywhere. This man appears to have exploded or disassembled. Almost looks like he's gone through the refinarium. But anyway, we take his coins and we put it in the machine and we say, give us something. But there isn't like a selection of any sort. We just put in the coins and see what we get. So this is the tutorial. At the top left corner is your money count. This is in yen, as in Japanese currency. You can see how much money you have in your purse. Try pressing this coin slot. We press the coin slot and we see the coins that we have and the slot, and a fairly laggy process of dragging all the coins across. This is a 50, these are 5s I think, and this is a 10. So now we have 100 coins. That is our sum total of money, and we can put in any amount we want, but in this case we're putting in everything we have, which is 100. We press the button and an item comes out. and we pick up the item, and it is just some yakitori, something like that. Meats, chicken skewers, I guess. Very, very common food in Japan, and apparently quite delicious. So we can select any items we want from the machine, use them. Otherwise, let's eat this one. So we click on it, and we say we eat it, and then our food rating goes up a bit, and our thirst rating. Right, so we're trying to keep those up, but we need money. But we are a young girl, and the only thing we can do is beg. So we go back to the street, where we sit with our hand out, and people walk past. And we get this little sort of running line of, I suppose, comments from the people, mostly insults, occasional helpful ones, occasional helpless ones, like you need medicine, not pity, or where am I going to get medicine? There's a fire barrel a few streets down, go warm up there, yeah, but whose fire barrel is it? Who's going to, is somebody going to cause trouble? And we can hear the little clink of people putting coins in our little sort of begging cup, our little found tin, and we can have a look and see what coins we have. We've got a couple of hundreds there, we've got some tens, and we can choose to take our money and wrap up and go back to the machine, or we can just wait a little bit longer, and we sort of stare at our comments. And this is where the game has this first little element of beauty that comes out, and that this is a mesmerizing taste of, I suppose, the experience of begging, where you just sit and you have people who have no idea what your life is passing these comments on you and being weirdly, aggressively insulting and rude, possibly through guilt or through a twisted personality or all of the above, and sometimes trying to be helpful, but they're, I don't want to say ivory tower, but their sort of elevated point in society means that they don't know how to be nice, how to be helpful. Alright, we're down to the 20%, so let's wrap it up and go back to the machine. Now, what I have discovered is that, well, as I say discovered, I found it in the comments, is that 150 will always give you something to drink. So if we put 150 in, and we get a drink, which is fine. It's just a Coca-Cola with a K. Slight mistyping there. Luxury bottle. I should say, I just pulled gold from the vending machine. Alright, so we're happy with that. And we can drink that. And it doesn't boost our thirst by much. And it's still going down. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in all of the rest of the coins. 200 and something. No, there's a 50 up there. And we'll press the button. And out we get, oh, another drink. This is 9 up, which is cherry flavored, I guess. A red liquid in a strange looking bottle. Wait, this is a soda? I've never seen a blood looking soda before. I hope this tastes good. That's interesting. I would have thought we would have gotten food, but let's drink it. Actually, let's not drink it. Let's keep it for now. Until, let's go beg a bit more. Because our food is low. I was hoping for something to eat. And yeah, so we're back to this. This is the slow part of the game. And I did notice people in the comments complaining about this part of the game, that it is a little too slow and a little too dragging, and that's difficult to think about, to make a judge about, because it is supposed to be, I suppose, an emulation. I mean, this is a game that is still in development, but I get the feeling this is supposed to emulate in its way the experience of begging on the street, of living on the street, of this, interminable hours of just waiting for life to try and help you a little bit, and that's powerful, and I don't want to lose that. On the other hand, this is a game. This is supposed to be an entertaining experience, an interesting experience. What have we got here? We've got more than 100. Yeah, let's wrap up and go and see what we can get. So how do you balance that? How do you balance the game and the experience? It's kind of the comment on reality that sort of art is supposed to be versus this is supposed to be an entertaining experience. Right. So now we have some kind of lizard on a stick, and this is where the game gets interesting. And she doesn't know what to feel about this. However bad it looks, the smell is surprisingly good, just like how a normal skewer smells like. Good takoyaki sauce. I'll probably have liked it later on. Well, we're down to 0, so let us eat and drink. I want to see, does that give us any food? Yeah, it does give us a bit of food. Let's eat that. And we're good for a while, so let's go back to the street and see what it is. Yeah, so it is a question. How do you balance artistic expression and meaningful experiences with the drive for entertainment? And I don't know. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how to do it. But this game is a test a little bit down the road. I mean, if I were the devs, to make it more entertaining, I would make more stuff happen here, more interactions with the people, something like that. Or the ability to accelerate time, perhaps. I don't know. It's difficult. What have we got so far? Barely anything. So yeah, how do you fix the route? How do you fix the path without losing meaningfulness? I mean, that's a comment on life, really. How do you have a meaningful life without losing yourself in the rat race, the daily grind to survive, I guess is the word there. Anyway, I'm gonna wait until it goes down to 0, dump all the coins in, and then stop playing there. Andy Badass here did do a look at the game. He got a lot of apple seeds, which is one of the items that you get. That I don't know. There's a lot of chatter in the comments about how something works, and there's people sort of listing the items they've collected in spreadsheets, and I think that is really the fundamental beauty of this game, where the most interesting charm comes from is the way people see meaning in the patterns of the game that might be there, might not be there, that you hope is there. You hope there are interesting little treats in the background. Oh, we've got lots. Let's wrap this up. I'm just going to put everything in, see what we've got. 400. I don't think I've seen anyone do a 400 before. I do wish there was an easy way to put these in. This is a bit of a grindy part of the game. Just putting all these things across. What are we going to get? Oh, I got a Coca-Cola. That's a bit of a waste, really. No, I'm going to drink it. A little bit of food. Anyway, that is the game. So let's reload just to stop the music. If you're just here for the gameplay and my rambling, then thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because that is, the important engagement for both of us, and it helps me because it boosts the channel a bit, and it helps you because it trains YouTube. And it is important to train YouTube because how else are you going to get entertainment in this day and age? Everything else is unsafe. Even YouTube might be unsafe. I don't know. So far it's treated me okay, I guess. Not that I've really gotten into it in any real way. Anyway, yeah, so if you're departing, thank you for watching. And hopefully we'll see you in the next video. If, however, you want to see a little bit of critique, well, I don't know. There's not too much I can give here. There's actually quite a rude item you can get out of the machine. The game is supposed to lead to these weird transformations. People have been having difficulty getting them, so you might have to play for a while. There's a lot of the grind and not much of the event. And it would be nice if there was more event filling in the space. It means that you can see you can get a little bit insectile, you can get a bit massively overweight. I think that might be one of the easier ones to get to if you get lucky with the coin drops, and you get whatever the hell is happening here. Weird plant transformation, maybe that's the apple seeds, I'm not sure. Yeah, and weird foods. There's definitely a lot to happen here, and it's quite difficult to get to. And it is a game that is in development. Is there any kind of development log or anything? Possibly on Patreon. They have some more links to the Wikipedia stuff, the SCP stuff, and then a lot of commentary from people having a certain amount of luck. I don't want to spoil it too much. So that's it. The critiques. The UI is fine. It's got the. In fact, I just want to see. I think every time you go back to the street is when it saves. At least that's one of the comments said. I just want to see what UI elements are available in the game. Take a while to load. They do have quite a nice intro. A little bit of music over there, Godot. So this is a Godot game. I actually didn't realize that. Good. And then Neurotic Fly, very, very cool intro for the studio. Very nice. Here we have the usual sound controls and things like that, which is really, really nice. I think the previous game that I looked at had something like that. So, bravo them. The resolution changes. We continue. Where does it leave us? Back here. Oh, with a lot of water. I'm not sure what it continued from. There's something a bit buggy there. It would be nice, I think, to be able to see like a spoiler list, something hidden behind spoilers that would talk about the transformations and show you how far you are down one particular path. I don't know. That's a tricky one, because how do you balance that? You have people who are going to complain that it ruined the game for them, despite the fact that you hide it behind a spoiler tag. It's like you knew this was going to ruin the game. I don't know. The sound is great. It's a nice sort of haunting little melody. When you wrap up, the sound here is quite nice. Just a different haunting melody. The sort of the buzzes of being down an alley. The art is great. I'm not quite sure why she's as pink as she is and looks as alien as she does. I guess that's just the artist's style. I don't think it's meant to be meaningful, but I quite like it. I quite find it pleasing. I don't know. It's fine. It's absolutely fundamental for the for how it works. And the immersion is great. We have a very solid story here. We have the entire lore of the SCP universe in the background. There's not much to do there. I suppose I'd like to know more about who the girl is and where she's from, that kind of thing. Why she's on the street, what's going on. I think they did leave out some of the detail because it's, I suppose, not really necessary, although empathy with the main character is, I think, quite important. But it's also the more story you tell, the harder it is to tell it without text, and I think they're deliberately avoiding the text because of translation questions. Although there's a lot of text here, and the intro had a lot, so I don't know. Maybe it's just try and reduce that translation load. But yeah, it would be nice to know more about what's going on and where you are and things like that. SCP is supposed to be a bit mysterious, I suppose, so who knows, maybe we're an SCP as well. That's why we transform as well as we do. Use this 1 yen coins. Who uses a 1 yen coin? I don't know. The comments are a bit weird. There might be something we can do there. Anyway, that's all the critique really I can give about the game. I think it's fantastic. Obviously, I think it's one of the greats, and I'm really excited to cover it. And I hope to see you in the next video, because I am going now and I'm going to play this some more. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.